Howard Stern. So Howard Stern, obviously, he's been major in the media space for a long, long time. He was a shock jock. That's where he made his name. Everybody here has some knowledge of Howard Stern. Yeah, Mally, do you know anything about Howard Stern?
Yeah, I mainly know him from, I think, AGT
Oh yeah, he was on America's Got Talent, wasn't he?
for a
Yes,
long time. Yeah, that was my favorite show for a while. So yeah.
that's right, he was. I'm sure Phoenix, you've probably listened to his
Oh my
show
God,
once or
he
twice.
was! I forgot all about that. Wow.
Yay! I have
What?
I have a hot take on Howard Stern. So there's some people out in the audience, which I'm very, very excited about, that do know Opie and Anthony. So I was an Opie and Anthony guy, and if you know Opie and Anthony, you know that we hate Howard Stern, and I've always hated Howard Stern. I give him all the props in the world for starting this. He was a game changer. Historically. I'll always give him props, but I always found him to be extremely lame, one note, and I never understood why he got so much praise that he did, other than just being the first. There's so many other people out there that were better and funnier, in my opinion.
So, yes, he was the first to really kind of push the limits. And if you saw the movie Private Parts, it kind of was a very funny movie. And from what I understand, Howard Stern is kind of ashamed of it now. He thought it was really egocentric, which it was. But I think that if you see any sort of success in the space of media, especially like radio, it's very cutthroat. You got to have a pretty big ego, and that's something that Howard Stern has always had. But that ego has been taken down a little bit, as apparently after 20 years over on Sirius XM, they are canceling the Howard Stern show. Right here. Now, this comes off of the last 5 years or so. He's been very vocal about his political thoughts. He said that he hated anyone who voted for our current president and demanded they stop listening to the show. And now he's been canceled right here.
Oh, you got what you wanted, Howard.
Yes, apparently he was making $100 million a year, $100 million a year, and it comes back to a money decision right here. He's 71 years old, which doing talk radio, I mean, it's something that you could definitely do. But I want to take a step back here. There's this list of like the top 10 most compelling Howard Stern show moments. And I want you to like look at the dates on these here, right? These are all 22 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 plus years ago, 40 years ago, 35 years ago, 20 plus years ago, 20. So you're noticing a trend here, right?
Yeah. He's not relevant.
Yes, the most recent one was 18 years ago at this point. And I think that a lot of people got in the habit of listening to Howard Stern, and then they just kept that habit for a long time. It's one of those things that people do, and they have a parasocial relationship with folks, and look, he was a trendsetter for a long time, but he also totally backtracked and became the thing that he hated a little bit later on. I think we all can see that, right? I mean, Phoenix, you said you hate Howard Stern, but I don't know. I feel like he became what he hated. He became pig vomit.
Yeah, he's that Batman quote, like you live long enough to become the villain kind of idea. He sold out on every single principle that he stood for, the things that I would actually give him praise for, everything that he did to the industry and to entertainment, to censorship. I give him nothing but accolades for that. And then he just backtracked every single one of them. A lot of people argue it's because he's terrified of being canceled for all those things that he was doing back in the day, especially with race and midgets and all that other stuff. So watching his decline has been really, really depressing, even though I'm not a big fan of his.
And I think that's kind of the big thing is like now you can go back and you talk about him doing blackface and stuff like that. I mean, these are all things that he did back in the day, and people are like, now he did so much to quote unquote be canceled in 2025, 2024, 2023 that yes, he kind of went on the plantation, if you will, and kind of started towing the company line. During COVID, he was very vocal about vaccination. this is one of the things that that he said during his time during COVID.
We're going to stop putting up with the idiots in this country and just say it's mandatory to get vaccinated. F them, f their freedom. I want my freedom to live. We're going to stop.
So that was one of his interesting takes. He also really went out of his way to make our previous president look really, really good, even when there wasn't a whole lot to look good about physically. So this was him when Biden was on with him trying to cover up the whole dementia thing.
Not only were you a star football player, but you were a lifeguard. I mean, you really, and you were the only white guy who was lifeguarding in this black community, right?
Yeah,
I mean, you were the one guy.
I was.
Your family is pretty, again, this goes to my point about, the president is the father of our country. That
You think he thinks that way now? I don't.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
My
If he
IQ
does,
is
then he
dropped.
has daddy issues.
Who's that? Howard Stern?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If he
We
still
all
thinks
say
that
it.
way now.
I think your family is so extraordinary because of the way they've conducted themselves and how they are with you that I feel you have a lot to give to the presidency. These are my feelings. It's pretty amazing family. And I
wax
again
figure.
I'm proud of it.
You know, he looks, he kind of looks like Blabs as Blabs is about to drink from the Buzz Lightyear cup. That's kind of what he looks like right here as he's interviewing the former president. Just ready to enjoy a nice little sip. So what? You're the one who set up Blabs. Anyways, so yeah, this is a money decision, and he certainly has the old TDS. But they're saying that after you saw what happened with Stephen Colbert, it's like they just can't afford to keep it going here. They're saying a lot of it, some of it has to do with his political nature of all this, which I think actually brings up a really, really interesting point. We're seeing a lot of these things get canceled. A lot of, we saw Colbert get canceled. Now we're seeing Howard Stern get canceled. Both these guys who have turned into, look, Colbert, extremely political, huge on the vaccine, gone out of his way to make certain administrations look good and other administrations look bad. But we also saw USAID get cut.
Bingo.
Do you think that there's something
Bingo.
there?
Mally, I'm sure you've got something to say on this.
Well, I actually hadn't heard about this.
Oh,
So, okay.
well, it's not necessarily, it's not confirmed, but it's just, isn't the timing interesting as all this funding in the background is getting cut that suddenly out of nowhere, everyone else is also, all their shows, all entertainment, everything is getting cut.
Oh, that's the connection you mean. Okay, yeah, no,
Not a
that's
confirmed connection, but yeah.
Right. Okay, I was like, what? Did I miss something? Okay, no, yeah, that totally makes sense. Yeah. And why do you think they were kissing their asses so hard? They had to pay them. Like, the money was coming from somewhere. And I mean, the way he laid it on thick about the family. Ugh, I was most mad about the family. I thought the family was the most dirty because they knew what was going on and kept him puppeteered out there like a weekend at Bernie's. Sick.
You know what's interesting about Howard Stern, which I never really thought about, which I'm assuming he didn't really want people to think about. Apparently, Howard Stern, wore a wig every day, and this is him without the wig.
What?
Yeah, his hair, this hair here is a wig.
Oh my god, that makes so much sense. How did we not see a potential? He never went gray. It never stopped. Yeah, that makes sense. I never thought about it long enough to stop to think about it long enough, but that so makes sense. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
He looks
his age.
skinny and frail.
Yeah, he
and
looks sick.
gross. Yeah.
He looks old.
Now this obviously this couldn't have been recent because apparently he's like a recluse now and he doesn't get outside and he's so terrified of COVID still that he still stays in his house and his studio or whatever. He's pretty messed up. But
Good, be a hermit.
yeah. Now
Bye,
we saw this.
Felicia.
Bye. We saw this from Rob Schneider. He's kind of giving the go woke, go broke corporate media. You
Let's
see
hope.
kinda
I
how
love
it's
Rob.
went.
He's funny.
Next on the chopping block, The View.
I hope, man.
Please!
Yeah.
Man,
Bunch of witches just reading and spewing hate. No,
Yeah.
bye.
Seriously.
Well, good things are happening. Culture is shifting. Nerd Gary came in, just says the king of all sellouts here. So there's that of him just being canceled after 20 years on Sirius XM. I mean, he was a trendsetter as far as the show, as far as the business goes. The business of remember when he went to Sirius XM? That was a major deal. And the idea of that you're going to pay for this content for you to watch, and it in droves. People came over and supported him. It was crazy, to the point of making $100 million a year. Good Lord, that is insane. So, I mean, look, dude had a career. Obviously, I think you said it best, Phoenix, the Batman quote, you either die a hero or live long enough to become the villain. I think for a lot of people, Howard Stern has become the villain, so, which is a bummer. But he's a very, very wealthy villain, to say the least. So.
Yep.
Hey, YouTube said you should watch this video too. Obey the overlords.